good, y'all, man? Still Mills tapping back in with y'all, man. I'm having a pretty fucked up day at work, man. I'm a little aggravated, man. Niggas have pissed me off, but it is what it is, man. I want to get into this Gervonta Davis supposedly having a fight not at 130 pounds. And there's speculation that it may even be Gary Russell Jr. If that's the case, man, y'all need to quit bigging this dude, man. Like, this dude is too good to be pulling up smaller fighters, man. Like, you're a natural 130 pounder, bro. And there's killers up there right now, man. All the talking and shit on Facebook and Twitter and all that. Get in the ring and get busy, man. Because you shouldn't have the rep that you have for pulling up smaller fighters, man. Like, that shit out the window, my nigga. That shit out the window. And niggas is really vouching for it, man. I don't get people's mindset, man. Like, that's fucked up. You want to see Canelo got all the flack in the world for pulling up Amir Khan, as he should have. As he should have. I didn't see it too much from Spence. I didn't see the drag from Spence too much when he pulled up Mikey Garcia. But he shouldn't. I don't think he should have got dragged for that, because Mikey Garcia kept, barking on that nigga. So I think he did what he was supposed to do. So I would be wrong to drag Spence for that. But in retrospect, it's like, still, my nigga, like, he never had a fight at 47, my nigga. And with all the competition you got up there in that division, you should have been like, all right, man, I'll get you whenever the fuck I get you. Because we all knew what that was. Anybody who has the slightest understanding of boxing knew what that fight was going to be. I thought he was going to stop you. So salute to Mikey for withstanding that punishment. But I'm saying, even when you look at Mike Tyson, man, everybody has the most to say about Mike Tyson going up there and fighting, not going up there, but fighting Leon Spinks. Like, he, homie was a champion up there. Oh, he was really a light heavyweight, all that shit, man. It's like, man, come on, man. Like, niggas pick their battles, man. When it's a fighter that they like, they ride with. They gonna disregard all the bullshit that they do, man. And him going and entertaining a fight at 126, if that's the case, him going and entertaining a fight at 126 pounds with a Gary Russell Jr., that shit is corny. That shit is drag out corny. I mean, shit. What are you looking to gain from that? Everything Gary Russell Jr. is gonna give you, you can get from a fucking Oscar Valdez and a Shakur Stevenson. You can get all that from them. A Tevin Farmer, you can get all Tevin Farmer. You can get all that from them. Jojo Diaz, you can get everything you need out of a fucking Gary Russell Jr. with all these other killers at 130 pounds, man. You don't need to drop down to 126 to fight a Gary Russell. And I saw the tweet that you said, who said I was going to 126. I hope that shit remains true. I really do, because you don't need no more slander on your name, bro. You don't need no more slander on your name, because you already have that. We're pulling people up from smaller divisions. You already have that. You already have a reputation as, oh man, he gonna keep pulling up niggas from 120, 122, 124, 126. You already have that on your, attached to your resume, or to your reputation. So why continue to perpetuate that, man? Like, it's killers up there in your division, man. If you are contemplating going down and drop to fight Gary Russell Jr., that's just not a good look, man. It really isn't. It really isn't. There's nothing you can get from fighting a Gary Russell Jr. that you wouldn't get from fighting a Shakur Stevenson or a Valdez or a Burchell. There's nothing you can get from fighting Gary Russell Jr. that you wouldn't get from them. Nothing. You gonna go down there and take his belt and not even defend the title? You're like, come on, man. It's just not needed, bro. It's not needed. You shouldn't even be. That shit. I really hope it's a rumor. People is just bloviating some bullshit, but knowing, your reputation, you can't help but wonder, like, damn, is he really finna drop down there and fight this dude? Or try and pull him up? I just don't think you're not gaining nothing from it. It's a lose-lose situation, man. your diehard fanboy ass niggas is gonna be like, oh shit, Gary Russell, not Gary Russell, but you know, they'll go out of their way to big up Gary Russell and look at all of his accomplishments and his accolades and him being the longest reigning champion in boxing currently. They'll look at all that, but will completely disregard the fact that he's being pulled up from a lower division. I just don't think it's something that you should be even entertaining, bro. I don't. I really don't. And you know, we haven't heard you say it, but just your reputation precedes you, bro. Niggas is already, oh man, you doing it like, it's, come on, man. Do not take no fight with no Gary Russell Jr. Do not do it. Do not do it, man. Do not. If it's money and the biggest names that you're trying to chase, you get nothing out of fighting a Gary Russell Jr. Especially with the throwing that Oscar Valdez just had. You gain nothing out of that. Chris Colbert is killing shit at 30. What are you getting out of it? Well, you're not getting anything out of it, man. And he's not even active like that. He's not even active. His last fight was, I don't know, he fought the Mongolian dude. Come on, man. That shit is not necessary, bro. Do not go and fight no goddamn Gary Russell Jr. for no title at 126 and don't pull him up. Because you're only going to continue to perpetuate the already existing notion about you, bro. It's not warranted, bro. You got plenty of competition in your rifle division that I think you're in. I mean, I think you and fucking Oscar Valdez is a good fight. I think that's a real good fight. I think that's a really good fight. Why go and reach down and get him? So it's like, man, come on, man. Just you kind of keep giving, if you're entertaining it. If you're entertaining it, you're giving people a reason to, you know, have all these rumblings about you, man. You know, like I said, I've been known as a tank detractor, and that's just not the case, bro. I think you're an incredible talent, bro, but you eventually gotta get to a point where it's like, all right, my nigga, you gotta hear what the people are saying, because it's at the end of the day, it's the people that are gonna support you. You gotta know when to block the people out and when to take their word into consideration. And if you have a reputation of being a nigga that pulls up fighters from smaller divisions, that should be something that you should be looking into, and it should be alarming. It should most definitely be alarming. I don't understand why this is. I don't understand why you would want that. I don't think you should have ever fought Leo Santa Cruz. Everybody in their right mind knew what you was gonna do to that dude. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. So why continue to perpetuate that, man? Like, let's get on the ball and go after these killers at 30. You dig what I'm saying? Like, come on. I mean, shit, you probably wanted, I think you would have fought Ryan Garcia. Just, I don't know. I mean, he has a buzz up there. So I think, all right, cool. Yeah, we can go up there and we can do that. There's a big bag involved in that, man. But, like, it's legacy, man. Like, I don't understand. Even with, what do you can't be compensated financially on the same level that you would be compensated if you fought Oscar Valdez or someone at 130 pounds. If you went and you fought Gary Russell Jr., he doesn't bring that type of notoriety to the sport. You know, the diehards know who Gary Russell Jr. is and respect the fuck out of him. I mean, could Gary Russell Jr. compete at 30? I think he could. But do I think if you were to pull him up, should he jump right into the Shark Tank with you? No. Let him get acclimated. Let him get acclimated to the division. Let him get acclimated. Canelo fought Rocky Fielding. Let him get acclimated. Let him get acclimated to 160. He got acclimated to 168 through that. Andre Ward took on 2 fights before he went and fought Sergey Kovalev at 175 pounds. Let him get acclimated to that, man. Like, come on, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please do not go and fight Gary Russell Jr. at 126 and don't pull him up to 130 to fight him. without him fighting, without him actually proving that he can compete at that division. Because you're one of the top dogs up there. You're one of the top dogs. So let him at least prove, let him get a fight or two in to prove that he can compete up there. Because Leo Santa Cruz, I think, did Santa Cruz catch a title at 30? I think he may have caught a title at 30. But who was the cats that he took the title from? I don't think they were, like, I don't even know who they were. I don't even know who they were. And I think it's, you know, it's Gary Russell Jr. is far better than Leo Santa Cruz. So I think he'd be able to acclimate himself a little bit better, just because of the fast hands. He's not the hardest puncher, but he's really good defensively. He's a good counter puncher. Leo Santa Cruz, his big thing is hand speed and work rate, throwing 1,000 punches a fight. So it was able to be a little bit more like, it was a little compelling. But going after a fucking, nah, man, don't do that. Please don't do that, because you are only going to damage your career, your reputation, more so than what it already is, man. Floyd has made his money. He made his money in the sport. He's already paved his, carved out his legacy. And he's walked through the fires that you're walking through. So you always want to take counsel from somebody who's been through the same struggles as you, but you also want to be like, all right, bro, let me take charge on this. What Teofimo Lopez is doing with Bob Arum, this is my career. Let me take charge on this. And look what it got him. $6 million or whatever. Come on, man. That's dope. That's good. Canelo fought, because Canelo gets a lot of the slack that he gets from, I think a lot of those decisions were at the helm of Oscar De La Hoya wanting to protect his fighter. It's a rehydration clause, it's catch weights, yada yada yada. Alright, cool. He heard the rumblings of the people. Let me separate myself from this dude and write my own narrative. And now that he's done it, he's a fucking unified champion at 168 pounds and is looking to make history as being the only super middleweight champion that to go undisputed. You gotta know when to say, all right, fuck all that shit. I got the proper counsel that I needed from you, but now I'm mature enough to forge my own legacy. I'm mature enough to say, I don't want that. I need to do this and not that. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. Financially, you get into the choke, my nigga. So you ain't hurting for money. You're not hurting. And whoever you fight, motherfuckers is gonna come and fuck with you. Imagine that was Shakur Stevenson. I don't know. I don't think so. Leo Santa Cruz brings a pretty big following. He has a whole country behind him. So I wouldn't say that Shakur Stevenson would have got the biggest, a bigger buzz over Shakur Stevenson would have got a bigger buzz over Leo Santa Cruz, because I think Leo Santa Cruz has a nice, he has good notoriety in the sport, and the Mexicans fuck with him. I mean that's I don't know, is he from Mexico or is he Chicano? I'm not too sure, but I know the Mexicans fuck with him. He bangs that Mexican shit, bangs it unapologetically. So I think that's dope that he does that, and because of that, you was able to get the biggest, you drew attention to that fight, but everybody knew what it was, man. So Gary Russell Jr. isn't going to bring that type of demand to the fight, man. So you literally get nothing outside of slander for fighting. So I mean, after Jose Pedraza, man, your competition, it just kind of started plummeting, man. It's like you're not even trying to fight the best in the division. You're just kind of like moseying along, like, and it's fucked up because people are clapping at you. It's fucked up. I've been one of the people who've been clapping at you because I think you're too talented to be doing the shenanigans that you're doing. There's no reason for you to be fighting these smaller dudes. There's no reason for it. You're a top dog at 130. If you're gonna fight Gary Russell Jr., let that man at least get a fight in the division and let's see and go based off of that performance. If maybe this is a dude I should entertain or shouldn't entertain. It's too many people up in the division for you to be fluctuating the way you do. We want to see you and Tevin Farmer, man. I want to see that. I do. I still want to see you on Berchelt. I think you could beat Berchelt, but I think Berchelt is game as well. I don't. You're not about to go in there and walk through Berchelt. So I don't know, man. Stop going for these smaller dudes. And like I said, you said on Twitter, who said I was going to 126. I hope and pray that is on the up and up. I really do. But I'm not too sure. With your reputation, we can't help but take notice to it. We can't help but be like, oh man, here we go again. You've carved that path for yourself, man, and that's just the type of time we on. It's alarming. We gotta go on alert when we see it. So I don't know, man. I hope it's rumblings, and I hope you have no intentions on doing that. I really do. But if you do have intentions on going to fight Gary Russell Jr., then god damn it, bro. God fucking damn it. I really hope you strongly reconsider that, because it's just really tarnishing your reputation, man. And I don't think fighting the likes of them dudes are gonna really be beneficial towards you when it's time for you to face off with the killers. Because the killers is, you know, they fighting other killers. They fighting other killers. Shakur Stevenson is calling out Oscar Valdez, and he's been on his ass. Oscar Valdez just went and called Tevin Farmer and JoJo Diaz, man. Like, these dudes is really getting busy, man, and you up here fluctuate, man. So I don't know, man. I hope it ain't the case, but man, I hope it ain't the case, man. Like and subscribe. Still Mills, I'm out.